Okay, so today we are doing something completely different.
We're making our first top 10 list of our favourite PS3 games.
Of all time. Just saying. Right, to start the list off, at number 10 we have Darksiders 2. It's a great follow-up to the first one. Very original content in the game. It's got its own unique world with many unique characters that you get attached to. Many different weapons, really long story, really nice soundtrack. I mean, the soundtrack was completely unique to the game and it was different from the first one because the game had its own darker feel. Unfortunately, there is no online mode, meaning the game, once you complete it, you can't really do much else. It doesn't have many expansion packs for the story mode either, so that makes it lack certain points. And the DLC weapon packs were absolutely shit. You had to buy the DLC weapons off a market before you could use them, and they cost a bunch. The stats of the weapons aren't even that great.
Okay, so on 9, Little Big Planet 2. This is an amazing game. It's so original.
First game I've ever had on the PlayStation 3.
Yeah, narrated by Stephen Fry. It's just a happy, magical game. I don't even know how to describe it. It's just very original. It's a
cartoony,
2D platformer.
very cartoony.
Yeah, and
massive improvement from the first original game. It has many original ideas. Long story, quite long story.
Yeah.
Amazing multiplayer. I mean, countless hours have been spent.
It's a great community as well. Like, so you can meet so many people on the game.
Make friends straight away.
And the worlds, the levels you can play online.
Like you can make your own levels and then upload them to the Little Big Planet 2 service, and then other people can play your levels that you made, just like you can play other people's levels and download them and put them onto your own world or whatever.
So at the start of the game, you're given like a toolbox where you can basically make your own levels, and then you can publish them, put them online, and people will play them. And you can play other people's. And it's just a great way you can play with friends on these other people's levels, and it's just a great way of...
It expands the story
so much. You have so many hours you could play on this game, and it's constantly new material, because it's just, you know, it's only, I don't know, kind of stopped by your creativity.
And it has a variety of costumes and DLCs, which you can download.
Yeah.
Okay. So at number 8 we have Call of Duty, the series.
Now we probably get a bit of hate for this, but when we say Call of Duty series, we mean up to Modern Warfare 3.
Yeah.
When it was actually a good series.
After Modern Warfare 3, the game, I thought the games got quite repetitive. And
it's not COD's
bad.
fault. It's just everyone's kind of bored of the same thing over
and over, and the stories, you couldn't relate them to any more real life events because there's nothing that happens.
Yeah, the original, well, I say up to COD 5 World at War, up to Black Ops 2 were really great games.
Yeah, really great.
The story
was absolutely amazing, yeah. And online mode.
Great online.
Wow. I mean, I spent so long on the online mode on Black Ops 1. I mean, I still went on it like a couple of months ago when I had the game.
They're games you can keep for, like, I think everyone I know pretty much owns at least one COD or have.
Yeah.
Like, and it's a good time killer. Like, the online is really good. You play with friends.
It's original compared to other first-person shooter games as well, because you can take your own lead. You don't have to follow a team around.
Yeah.
If you're good at the game, you can just do your own thing. Unlike Battlefield, where you have to stick with your team to survive for a long time.
And you can generally start off on COD, which is very good, a basic player, but if your skill's good enough, you can really compete with the other players. But with games like Battlefield, you start off with a rubbish gun and really have to work your way up to a better gun.
Not to forget, Nazi Zombies was a massive expansion to the game.
Yep.
It was, I mean, a lot of people just gathered around and just like play the game.
Some people play it specifically for Nazi Zombies.
Yeah, some people even like put it on split screen, and it's still an amazing experience. Amazing DLCs for all the games up until Modern Warfare 3, like we said. But yeah, the game started becoming quite repetitive after Modern Warfare 3.
So hopefully with Advanced Warfare it'll improve.
Yeah. Then at number 7 we have Bioshock Infinite.
This is a really good story-based game. It has no online. It's solely, a story-based game, but it's a very sort of mind-bending story full of paradoxes. You have to work it out as you go along. The world itself is really unique. It's like Rapture. It kind of sucks you into the story because the world around you is just so unique. It's a really dark world. At the start of the game, it's basically a white supremacy rules kind of world.
Yeah.
At the start, you have an option whether you throw I think it's just a general ball at a black man, or you can choose to throw it at the announcer. And it's really dark, and it's just really fun to play.
It has its own unique art style as well.
Yeah, the bosses and everything, the missions themselves kind of get a bit repetitive, but the story kind of keeps you going with it. So next up on the list is MGS4.
Now, we thought this was a great game because it was one of the first games to ever be on the PlayStation 3, and the graphics, even nowadays in 2014, are still amazing compared to some other games.
Pretty up to date, and you can compare it to quite a few games.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the graphics I would say are on the same level as Call of Duty games.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it has a really, really attaching story. You get
it's quite, we won't use the word, but emotional.
Yeah,
it's quite,
I mean, at the end,
really good.
At the end, you would know what we mean if you got up to the end of the game. It is
with the sunset, and they're punching each other.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
It brings a nostalgic feeling to you. The game does.
They're old games that kind of the storylines that are
it's all about the
good.
story
And the soundtracks.
The soundtrack.
It fits so well. It's so good.
It has many funny Easter eggs and hidden messages,
like all the MGS
of the
games,
Metal Gear Solid
but
games. Yeah,
really pervy.
Yeah,
funny.
Funny. Yeah. Variety of weapons to choose from while playing the game, and they're all very customizable. It has a variety of different characters, such as Otacon and even enemies.
And they're all
that you might like in a way.
They're not basic characters. You can kind of actually. Quite a lot of games nowadays, the characters are dispensable. You don't even care for them. But these ones, you kind of like you know their names at the end of the game.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. As addition to the story mode, the game also comes with an online mode, which extends the game in a way.
Unfortunately, at the minute, it's now the servers for it have stopped.
Yeah.
But at the time, it was a good addition.
Quite big, yeah.
And kind of kept you playing a little bit longer.
Mm-hmm.
So next up is Portal 1 and 2. These games are really fun. It's a very unique game. You have a gun, and it can make portals, and you have to go through this kind of factory-like place, solving the puzzles, trying to escape. It's first game really like it. It's a story-based game. There's no online, but you can do co-op with a friend, which are great. In Portal 2, there's a whole story on co-op, and it's great, with another person, because you really have to work together to be able to complete the challenges. The characters are funny. You've got the turrets, you've got GLaDOS. There's very funny speeches throughout the game.
And great endings for both games, I would say. Some people complained about the ending for the first game, but I personally think it's quite good.
Yeah.
You monster.
Okay, so moving on. At number 4, we have FarCry 3.
This is an open world sandbox game, and it's just got a very good storyline. The main villain, Vaz. I say he's the main villain. There is another villain after Vaz, but Vaz essentially is the main villain of the game. He's brilliant. He basically keeps the whole game going. He's probably one of the best villains of any sort of gaming history, I guess. The story itself is really good. You and your friends, you play as a guy called Jason. You and your friends go to an island and get captured by these pirates. All your friends get taken away, separated, and you escape, so you have to rescue your friends, and that's kind of the basic plot line. But as you go through the storyline, killing all these pirates and all that, you kind of sort of turn evil yourself. You start to enjoy the island. You kind of become like a pirate, and it's just so much fun becoming pretty much evil. I mean, there's one part where you get a flamethrower, you got Skrillex playing, and you just wiping these guys out, and it's just so much fun. Even though, you know, they're burning to death, you're like, this is amazing.
You can go hunting, which I thought was quite
Hunting's
cool.
very good. There's vehicles you can get over.
Yeah,
you know,
massive
the
world, absolutely
yeah,
huge world.
But the hunting is it's not just there. It's you have to hunt to upgrade, which is very good because it gets you doing it. Because normally that's one of the things in games you'd be like, oh, this is cool, and then after like an hour you're like, yeah, I'm not doing that again.
Yeah,
It does have an online. It's not just an add-on. It's actually quite fun. You create your own maps, and the actual game modes are quite cool. And yeah, it's just a good game.
oh yeah, amazing graphics.
Yeah, graphics are good, and physics are great as well for
Yeah.
it.
Number 3.
Fallout. This is Fallout series because it's very hard to decide.
Well, see, we say series, but we're mainly talking about Fallout 3
Fallout
and New
3,
Vegas.
yeah. So I prefer Fallout 3, but Vegas is also really good. They're both quite different. But the Fallout world is just so unique. It's a post-apocalyptic world set in the 1950s. I say 1950s. It's if an atomic bomb had gone off in the 1950s, the world would have stopped. So years would go by, but really all the music and everything salvaged would be from the 1950s. So it's, you know, it's a brilliant kind of basis for a game. It's really dark.
You get attached to the characters, like
Yeah.
we said before in other games.
The storyline is good for free.
Yeah,
and
it's a
New
funny
Vegas is
game,
good as
very
well.
funny game, and many funny like Easter eggs hidden in the game.
Yeah,
funny
but
weapons.
There's
as
also
well.
dark missions where
Yeah.
like it's got a nice balance between like funny and,
dark.
you know, yeah, serious.
No online mode, unfortunately.
But the story
makes
yeah,
it. That's
it's
a story-based
driven game.
It has multiple outcomes, so you get to decide how the game ends.
Which is really good. There's a sort of meter on whether you can be very good or very bad. Certain actions are good, certain actions are bad, and that decides how people react to you and what missions are actually available to you.
Moving on, at number 2 we have Mass Effect 3. Now, we have decided that we're doing Mass Effect 3 instead of the Mass Effect series, because it's hard talking about the different games as a series, because every single game in Mass Effect is completely different to itself. So, it has amazing graphics, considering it's on the PS3, epic bosses, amazing story missions. I mean,
The
you get to choose
story-
your own outcome,
yeah, the
depending
story's
on how
good.
you complete the mission. You can either get Renegade points or... what were the other points? Some other points, but one of them's bad and one of them's good. So good points will lead you to a good ending, and they make you a better person.
Yeah.
But bad points obviously make your crew like fear you and
it makes the game replayable because you want to see
what the other one is.
you want to, because Shepard, the more evil you are, the more badass he looks. He
Yeah.
gets cracks on his face, his eyes go red, and he's a cunt basically.
Yeah. Put it simply.
But it's just so fun to play good and evil. And again, you can kind of have relationships with the other characters, but you can choose to be friends with them or get a little bit steamy in the in the
Bedroom.
ship. Yeah,
It has a fairly long and beefy story.
yeah. Purely, it's a long story.
Story driven, no online mode.
And because you want to build up the relationships with characters and stuff, it drags it out, and it's really good.
Yeah. The game is actually very emotional at the end, we thought. I mean,
At the end of the series, although people complained about end of Mass Effect 3,
we thought it was really good. I personally had no problem with it.
We started on Mass Effect 3 and
Yeah,
then played
yeah.
different games. The story, the ending is good. Not to spoil it, but I reckon it was pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, the music absolutely made the ending for me.
Your music's
the
brilliant.
background
it's
track.
just so fitting. It kind of drags you in it. It's kind of it's great.
It can also make you cry. So at number 1, our top favourite game on the PlayStation 3 is, drumroll please, Elder Scrolls V Skyrim. Now the reason why we picked this game is purely because of how long the game is and how amazing the graphics are. I mean, the game takes a couple of months to complete on 100%.
And a couple of months isn't like, oh well, they're shit gamers.
Yeah.
I completed it within a week. No, you didn't. It took you months, if not a year. I mean, I kept this game for 2 years, put in about 200 plus hours. It's brilliant. Yeah, it's really good.
The character customization on this game is absolutely brilliant, even though you hide your fucking body in armor for the rest of the game.
Yeah.
But you spend that
You probably spend
half
an hour
to an hour creating your character.
the perfect character.
And then you just slap a helmet on and goodbye.
You can choose from multiple races to
Like
see whatever you like.
Argonians, Khajiits,
Elves, there's
Nords,
different elves,
yeah.
different humans.
Yeah, it's actually really good that way. No online mode, but I guess you don't need it because the story is just like so long.
And the world itself is really kind of
Open-worlded and
kind
massive.
of rich. There's good backstory for everything. Like there's different races don't like each other because
Of-
previous wars that
yeah.
have gone on, and it's just different cities. There's a war in Skyrim. There's a war going on, so different
Yeah,
cities
civil war.
belong to different factions. So people react to you differently, deciding what you are. The Dragonborn, you are the Dragonborn, which kind of puts you in the world. You kind of feel
you're the last Dragonborn, aren't you?
yeah, unlike some games where you're the hero, but you don't really feel like you are. You're the fucking Dragonborn in this. You kind of you feel like you're doing something to the world.
Soundtrack is absolutely brilliant for this game.
Soundtrack. I mean that song, like the main
At the
theme,
beginning, yeah. I mean, we're gonna play it in the background now, and you're just gonna know what we mean. Amazing DLCs. I mean, the
Very good
DLCs,
DLCs.
went on for ages, I thought.
length. Yeah,
3 different DLCs. They made a disc version of the game specifically to have the DLCs included on the disc with the game.
don't they do that for quite a few games?
Yeah, but
Game of the Year editions.
Yeah. Oh, shit.
Shut up, Patrick.
Sure, Patrick, prove me wrong, man.
But yeah, there's they actually changed the game up. There's different dragons, and they kind of
They
like,
improved the game.
Initially, you have like the original dragons that kind of swoop down, and they can be a bit retarded sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, they randomly crash, and
Fucking die.
sometimes the physics mess up. But
But
with these
other
new
than
ones,
that, the game is actually really good.
yeah,
I mean, the game, if we were to rate it out of 10, I would give it a 10.
I reckon,
Literally
yeah,
10 out of 10. this
very
game.
lowest 9, because it's just one of those games that I don't know. It's really, it's hard to explain. It's just.
Once you play it, you sort of get the feel of the game.
It will definitely be within your top 10 games you've played, because it's that, solid.
Okay, guys, well, that comes to an end. Alright, guys, well, we come to an end of our top 10 favourite titles for the PlayStation 3.
Don't hate. It's kind of just, me and
these are our
Bruno's
opinions,
opinions.
so if you...
Don't
if
be
you
getting
thought The
salty.
Last of Us was on there, yeah, don't be getting salty hoes. But yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let us know in the description, like you always do, if you like these top 10 videos. And if we should do more of them. So yeah, guys. To help our channel grow, please subscribe and like, favourite, whatever you want to do to the video. Share it with other people, share it with your mates and everything. So yeah, hope you enjoyed it, guys, and see you in the next episode.